So today I'm going to be showing you guys the off-page SEO strategy that you should be following along when it comes to building out a local website. It's relatively easy to do. Not many people do it. I've actually improved upon this SOP within the past couple of weeks because there's a few different tools that I'll be using, which is just makes off-page SEO and link building just way too easy now. So if you haven't already, this is going to be, or this video that you're watching right now, it's going to be going into my Local SEO 2025 step-by-step playlist. There's already 4 videos in that. This is going to be the 5th one. And then if you guys do have any questions and stuff like that, feel free to drop them down below and I'll make like a 6th video for this. But very quickly, if you guys haven't already, check out themasterminders.com. I am hosting an in-person SEO conference on the 27th of June in Manchester. You're going to be able to learn from the likes of myself, Craig Campbell, Lara Costa, James Dooley, Carrie Rose, and many, many more as well. There's going to be 150 people attending, so make certain to grab your tickets while you can. Now, going back to the actual off-page SEO and stuff like that. One thing that's really important, especially once you've started to build out topical authority, once you've started building out your service pages, your local landing pages, is the off-page SEO side of stuff, which sometimes it makes me laugh when I speak to some business owners and they say, oh, my SEO's been finished. And it's like, well, just by getting 100 score on your Yoast or your rank math, it doesn't mean that your SEO is complete, right? Because obviously you need to get more links, you need to get more casts of votes going through to your website and to build out that link authority. Now, if you take a look at like any website that's ranking for a relatively hard keyword, whether it's like dentists in Manchester or whether it is lawyers in New York or solar panel company or solar installation company, right? All of these websites, once you start doing a little bit of digging, they're going to have 2 really good things. They're going to have one being really good topical authority, so they're covering all of their services and all of their blogs and stuff like that, which I've covered in previous videos, so I'm not going to dabble into too much of that. But the second thing that you'll notice is that a lot of websites will have what's called like citations or directories, and the one annoying thing about directories previously was like finding out which directories actually push the needle or which directories don't hold any value and stuff like that. Now, directory, if you've never seen one before, I'm sure I can definitely find one. So like, for example, this is a directory, yell.com. And all it is it's basically just linking through to your website. It's got maybe a little bit of a business description. It's talking about like the services that you actually offer. And then it obviously just points through to your actual website. So if we actually click this link here, it goes through to your website. Now, in a lot of cases, directories can be like no follow links. So in this case, I'm using like a Chrome extension, which tells me which links are do follow and which links are no follow. But this red dotted line basically means that it is a no follow link. Now, the good thing about directories that people might think, oh, well, why don't I just get do follow backlinks, or why don't I just go and get like 5 links from the BBC or Forbes or whatever, right? The good thing about these types of links is that you're actually being seen alongside all of your other competitors. So, for example, Emergency Dentist Manchester, S. Patel and Associates, A Ceramics Limited. These are all of our competitors' websites. Now, if Google doesn't see our website alongside these competitors, they might not know or understand what we do or who we are or where we are either as well. So it's always really important to actually get these directories. Now, I'm going to show you guys 2 different methods to get directories. This first method is going to be super manual. It's going to be a long process. The second method is going to be way less time consuming, to the point where you could even just automate this and actually give it to like a VA or just hire someone to actually build out the citations. Now, previously, what I used to do, and this is the old way of how I used to build citations, is I would go into Ahrefs, I would click on competitive analysis here, and then I would select referring domains, and I would then paste in my free competitors, right? So I'm just going to paste in like, what I will do is I'll just do casradent.co.uk, right? It's a completely made up website, but let's just say that's our website. And then I would go and find free competitors that are also ranking for this keyword. So this is the keyword that I want to rank for: dentists in Manchester, or lawyers in New York, or whatever the keyword is, right? One thing to bear in mind as well is when you're picking out your competitors, this is really important. Don't just look at, like, for example, bupa.co.uk. For any of the UK guys, you'll understand kind of why I'm ignoring these guys. But for the American people that are watching this, bupa is like it is the private healthcare that like a lot of companies just sign up to. So like this website's like going to be a huge, massive website. So it's not directly a competitor. However, manchesterdentalpractice.co.uk, they are a competitor. So same goes with like the NHS. The NHS is like the government health organization in the UK. So again, I'm just going to ignore those guys and I'm going to go to the valencedentalcenter.com, right? And again, I'm just going to paste in these guys, and this will basically tell me like, hey, you've got X amount of links missing. So if I actually do like at least 3 competitors, so all 3 of my competitors actually have these links, you'll see that it's only 9. So you might actually want to lower this to at least 2. And this is saying like 32 referring domains. And basically you would then go into each one. So this is Yell. Click get a free listing, fill out this contact info or the actual business listing. It will actually ask you for a few more questions like your opening hours, where you're based, etc., etc. And then you would basically get a free listing. Now, there's also paid listings as well, which I will go into in just a second, because some people think they should pay for all of their directories, and I highly don't recommend that. But basically, that's the entire process. From start to finish, you're going to go into each of these websites and actually get a link from them. So, for example, if I go to like citymaps.uk, let's just see, consent. So how do I actually fill in the form for this site? See, this is the slight issue when you're using Ahrefs. The other method is going to be way easier. You're not going to waste as much time actually filling out the contact form. But there will be like somewhere on these websites where you can just fill out the form and get listed for free. Like webwiki.co.uk is another one as well. You can just click on add website. Now, very quickly, right, if you are contemplating potentially paying for a listing, this is what I recommend. Like, for example, Yell.com, they have a free version. They've also got a paid version. What I recommend is, instead of just saying like, yeah, I'm going to pay for it, whether it's like £20 a month or £100 a month or whatever the case is, it depends. Try to find a directory that's actually ranking for the keyword. Now, I'm going to just shoot off a couple because I know that these rank, but like if I search for like new or lawyers in New York, right? And this, if any of you guys are like an agency or whatever, some of you guys might actually decide to use this as an upsell tactic for some of your clients. But take a look at this, right? Lawyers in New York, as you can see, justia.com, that is actually a directory site. Bestlawyers.com, that's also a directory site. America's Top 50 Lawyers.com, and also another directory site. Is this a directory site or is this a government website? This is like more of a government website. There's usually another one as well. Lawyers.findlaw is the other one that I'm thinking of, right? So these 4 websites, or these 4 websites actually rank fairly well for the keywords that lawyers would also want to try and rank for. So I always recommend people actually search to see if the directory gets traffic. That's when I would potentially contemplate actually paying for a premium listing, because in some cases, right, if your SEO campaign's going really well, what might end up happening is Justia might be number 1 and you might be able to rank number 3. Like if I was to search like lawyers in San Francisco, for example, let's see if we can get like a listing like that. So you've got, for example, again, in this case, like Yelp.com's ranking position 3. But let's say, for example, if we were doing the SEO for Latham and Watkins LLP, right? If I was the SEO for this company, for example, right? And also in some cases, it's really difficult to actually outrank some of these directory sites, especially if like you're a newer website and stuff. But as a temporary fix, what I would reach out to like the marketing director of Latham and Watkins, and I would say, hey, you're currently ranking position 3. Why don't you just get a paid listing on justia.com? Because you won't be losing clicks or you won't be losing leads at that point. And in that case, that would make sense. But if justia.com, for example, just wasn't getting any traffic at all via Google, there's just no point paying for a paid listing. So always track the KPIs of the directories you're getting. But like, if you take a look at this, for example, as you can see, the average impressions is just going up and up and up. Like back in 2017, they were only getting 23,000 impressions. Now they're getting 7.5 million. So in this case, it probably would make sense to actually pay for a paid listing, especially if like you're searching for like lawyers in London or lawyers in Miami, for example, and Justia is actually coming up. Let's actually just search to see lawyers in Miami. Yeah, so in that case, it would make sense to actually pay for a paid listing. The top 3 listings here are all actually directories. You've got Justia, Best Lawyers, Find Law. But in some cases, that might not be the case. And if you don't see any directories, there's just probably no point in paying for the paid version of that directory. They're just going to be taking your money and you're not going to be getting any leads or any traffic from that actual directory. Bear in mind, like a free directory versus a paid directory, the SEO value, especially if it's not getting any traffic, is the same. So there's no point in getting up to, let's say, a £60 or a £50 a month or $100 a month package on a paid directory, especially if that directory just isn't getting any traffic. Now, this is the process. This is the old process that I was using. So I would plug in my competitors and I would say, like, okay, these are the 30 referring domains, or these are the 30 directories that I need. Now, this is the more improved version, right? So you can sign up to Localo. It is completely free to use, especially if you want to use this section. So plug in your actual profile here. You can add it in manually, or you can import your profile as well. I've already added in 2, but what we can actually do is we can click on our GMB profile. And if you click on the citations section, right, it will give you a list of citations that you actually need. So it will first of all tell you like which ones are actually active. So if I click on yell.com, for example, I am going to assume that my GMB is actively listed on this page. Let me just double check 1 second. So as you can see, Clean Fresh is actually active. And the good thing about this is it will actually give you like a to-do list. So for example, foursquare.com, that's like another pretty big directory out in the UK. You can actually just click that and it will take you to the page to actually get registered and claim your listing and stuff like that. So you can do that for any one of these, like for example, freeindex.co.uk. Again, it's another one. Now, the good thing about this tool as well is that it will send you directly to the actual page to register. So for example, this is for Clean Fresh UK. You can literally just fill it out, fill out the actual details. So it's a limited company, the main business category. So this would be like cleaning, and you've got your actual website, your landline telephone, so on and so forth. So any one of these actual citations that you actually click on, it should send you through to the actual registration page, so you're not just like searching around. So again, this is the /claim section, and you've got 2 or 3 pages. Like every single one of these directories as well, to my knowledge, index very well. So that's another thing when it comes to actually getting your citations crawled and indexed. The next step would be to get all of these, and bearing in mind you can actually like move these to being like done or move these to being ignored if you already have them. But once you've got every single one, now in this case this is shown as like 30 citations that we actually need. But once you've got them all done, I would highly recommend running them through like an indexing tool as well, because that will actually help Google crawl them and actually give your website more of a link equity and more link power as well. So one last thing as well, I really want to show you guys the actual power of this tool. Because in this case, this website here, it's actually telling us that we need 131 citations. Now, it's actually categorized them into like 82 that we already have and they're visible on Google, one that we've actually lost as well. So in this case, we might actually want to decide to reclaim this page, especially if it's not being like crawled or anything like that, or if it's not being indexed. So in that case, we might decide to re-index this using like Giga Indexer or Omega Indexer and stuff like that. But it's also telling us like 48 that we actually need. So for example, we've not got a Facebook page, we've not got an Instagram page, we don't have a LinkedIn page. Apple Maps, which again, this is like really important, especially because like so many people use iPhones, but making certain that your business is registered on Apple Maps as well. So again, going through all of these will definitely help. There's just over 10 pages, I believe. Or sorry, there's 50 results or 48 results that we need actually listed. So like, for example, healthsay.co.uk. But once you actually have all of these listed, you'll very quickly start seeing results, especially if you've been following along in the local SEO playlist as well. So that's been the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is a little bit of a time-consuming task, especially if you're going to do this yourself. What I would recommend doing is just getting this entire list and maybe even sending it out to like a VA or hiring someone to actually go and fill it all out for you, because that's probably going to be the most, it's probably going to give you the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to the actual rankings and stuff like that, especially if you've been building out your topical authority, if you've been building out the service pages, if you've been building out the local landing pages like what I've been showing you guys in the previous videos as well. And if you guys do want help with your SEO, check out carriagedash.com, fill in the contact form, and I will be in touch. Thanks for watching.